Hey guys, this is James.
And this is Danny from TeaDB bringing you guys episode 207.
Yep, so we are brewing some Pu'erh from Taiwan. This 2005, stored in Taiwan. Manzhuan is the area, which is in the greater Yiwu area. I've had this once before. Curious to see what Denny says.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So, and James said this was a bit of more of like a delicate, less aggro, older.
Less aggro, partly because it's just 12 years old now, and it's just not like a Lao Banjiang tea or something that'll just like smash your face and then like jump on your face. And then
Pretty clean.
Yeah. The quality is good. The storage is on the clean side of things.
Not gonna lie, getting a little manure out of that.
I was gonna say cat urine, so
Oh man, people are like, no.
Right after I said that it was clean, but it smells. I don't know. It's hard to describe. Yeah, earthy is definitely a way to describe it.
Boom. All right, flash brew this bad boy. Get out of the way.
And
looking nice and clean. Really, transparent. And when we're saying clean, what we mean is that there's just not the sort of like cloudy, paleness to it.
And also in terms of storage, it doesn't smell like it's dirty or muddy or something like that. So it's definitely a relatively dry stored tea.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just get this next one going. Combination, it's got a really nice aroma. Combination of some really big leaves and then some smaller leaves. It's just kind of a product of the cake. I'm just assuming more than anything. Oops. Cool. All right. And let's give it a sniff. It has that really manure-y, decomposing leaves, earthy tobacco smell on it.
It's really complex aroma, honestly. Yeah.
Like when I say manure, like some people will think like, ew, gross, but it just smells like you're planting a garden or something.
Yeah, and manure is very natural too.
That is true. And then there's a little hint of some like sweet fruit, maybe a little bit of
I was getting that too.
Some maybe not cherries, but some of those smaller fruits. All right, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, and how's the leaf integrity look?
Good, actually. Yeah, nice. Some really big leaves in there.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Oh, wonderfully sweet. Earthy, maybe a little bit of smoke, actually. Like just a hint, but there's I don't know how I would describe the sweetness, but it's really on the front sweet.
Yeah. Woody, maybe a bit.
Wow, really sweet.
Yeah.
Huh. Good. I mean, it's like a little bit of a fruity sweetness. I'm not quite sure what the fruits are quite yet. I don't want to say plums because it's just so played out, and then the sides of my tongue, like really saccharine sweet, like candy sweet. So.
Any tannins at all?
No, it's just as smooth as a baby's bottom. was that a baby's?
We take
that just needs to be
seriously.
it needs to be a tea meme right there. Just like, how's the tea?
Yeah. Oh man, that is smooth.
Wow.
FT.
Really nice residual flavors, like a little bit of almost a kind of a spicy, tongue biting kind of flavor, but sweetness as well.
And does that sort of earthy taste earthy thing that we're getting from the aroma translate into the taste?
I'm not tasting it as much, frankly.
I can still smell it. I honestly can. It's a little bit at the front. It's a little bit more faint than it was before.
Yeah.
But,
I feel like it's come that spice. It's almost kind of like a tobacco it's kind of biting your tongue a little bit. Maybe a little bit like a little bit of a sweetness from, I don't know what the fruit is on this quite yet, but this is really good.
Yeah.
It's also really smooth too.
It's very smooth.
Yeah, very gentle. Cheers, y'all. Cheers.
Yeah. Some acidity to this, but it's very soft, like so soft.
Great texture. I would say this isn't a really warming tea for me yet. Maybe it will be, but I'd say this is more like a cooling, relaxing tea.
Mm-hmm. And is this
for the evening time?
So this tea is not overly aggressive to you at all?
Not at all. I mean, maybe I'm just tasting now just a little bit more of that sort of earthiness and like the sort of depth there, a little bit more woody, but really nice residual sweetness. I'm not getting as much of a chest, deeper flavor going on. I'm not tasting as much down here yet. It's more of like the higher notes.
Right. I'm getting some huigan, some sweetness in the throat that's sort of lingering. How's that look?
Really nice big combination of some really big leaves there.
Yeah.
And it's looking, I mean, there's not much green at all anymore, so you really are seeing the age in the cup.
So it's clearly at least somewhat aged.
Man, I mean, it is. I have never smelled a tea that just straight up smells like manure before. And we're drinking it, and it's sweet and delicious, guys. So I'm not, and gals, so I'm not.
Yeah.
Again, don't get us wrong here. This is a super delicious tea, but it has that aroma on it.
And I'm getting more, I don't get it as much now. I'm getting more of those standard sort of fruity, woody tones to this. Like the, I don't know, like medium to dark stone fruits sort of stuff in the aroma.
Yeah.
So it's veering me more towards the typical now.
Yeah.
A little bit more so.
Yeah.
In terms of the aromatics, at least.
Nice lasting sweetness. That's
Cheers.
sort of like lasting. I'm just continuing to taste this, so great quality.
Right. Cheers, guys. It's also, despite it being, I think we're describing it as sort of mellow tea, it has a lot of oiliness. It's still particularly viscous.
Yeah.
So I think that's also a good sign of a tea.
I was going to say, this tea feels like the kind of tea that we could be drinking, we could be doing a 3-hour session on, and then James could throw it in. Check out James's In Between the Soda with preserving tea. I think you've done 2 now. And,
I've done a couple of those.
Yeah, and so check those out, because this is the kind of tea that I think you could brew out 12 or 15 times, throw it in your Zorushi, is that what it's called?
Zorushi, yeah.
Zorushi, and then I can't speak any of that stuff. I apologize, fam. And then the next day you'd have just as much flavor going on, and maybe some different notes in there too.
Yeah, I think so. So a tea that gets steep out. In fact, I would say that if we're going to keep going, we should probably reboil. Yeah, exactly. So get a little bit more hot water on this. I think this tea clearly can take a fair amount of stress. Like, I've had hardly any tannins in any of our cups so far.
Yeah. So some freshly boiled water here, and this is kind of a feel thing. I have sort of that residual, maybe a little bit more of that residual mouth pucker going on just from drinking raw, period, you know, and these teas are just going to slowly build that texture in your mouth as you continue to drink them. Some of them less so, some of them more so. This one's I'd say, ooh, look at that color.
So this is going to be more of a stress test, I think. That's the darkest color by considerable margin.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I'm still getting just a strong level of tobacco leaves.
Is tobacco a good thing for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just another flavor, right? Like, it's maybe a little bit of leatheriness too.
I like that. Yeah, leather, I could definitely get that.
So if you've ever had like a tobacco leaf in your mouth, it has a distinct flavor. It almost has a little bit of like a raisiny taste, and then because of, I think, the nicotine in it, it actually leaves like physically a kind of like not stinging, but kind of like a almost like you've had a hot pepper on your tongue or something like that. So there's like a sensual, textural thing going on there too. I think, so this is tea. We're not drinking tobacco. So all of the things that I just said, there's little parts of all of that are building themselves up to making me feel like I'm having a little bit of a tobacco flavor going on. So part of it is the texture, part of it is the sort of raisiny taste, part of it is a little bit of a spiciness on the tongue and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. Like, that doesn't mean that you don't have to be I'm not a smoker. You don't have to be a smoker to enjoy those sort of different aspects of the sensation of drinking this tea. So yeah, it's great.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're getting tannins now, but it's still very palatable.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's, given how different the saturation of the liqueur was, brew to brew there, this is still, yeah, I mean, it's definitely more tannin.
Really
tannic.
thick.
Yeah, but it's still smooth, getting more of that, sweeter kind of raisiny something.
Yeah, I think the raisins is right on point. I think this is the sort of brew where, like, your hardcore Pu'erh heads will, like, be going for brews like this, where it's like you get in the tannins, but there is so much reward in, like, the sweet aftertaste and the complexity of the brew.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not, like, overwhelming tannins at all.
Yeah.
So I think it's the sort of brew where it's still, like, it's strong, but it's really nice too.
Yeah, I'm just going to steep out even longer.
Do you think this tea would be? Do you think this tea? What's the right way to appreciate this tea? Would it be with like beginners? Do you think this is beginner friendly, or do you think it's a little bit too subtle?
Good question. I think the first few steepings were really palatable and friendly. I think anyone drinking this tea would enjoy them. And then getting into these steeps now, people might just be a little bit off-put. I think if it started out with that last steeping that we just had, it might not be quite as palatable, quite as welcoming. So this is a tea that can be enjoyed for, I think, both the beginner who's just getting into Pu'erh, as well as, because of how it's developing now, maybe some folks who have been drinking a little bit more tea and maybe have had a bigger breadth of experience with these sorts of teas. So yeah, I think this is a great, kind of suitable for everybody. It's not the most approachable ever, but that's just because it's a raw Pu'erh. So you kind of have to be a little bit in tea culture to be drinking a raw Pu'erh anyway.
It's true. Yeah.
So
I'd say that's probably about what I'd say too.
That's the core.
And I'd say this tea definitely has plenty of complexities and is changing enough that it offers a lot of fun stuff.
I'm now getting it deeper in my throat, and like there's just
we're
slowly
building,
talking and really continuing to taste this tea. So
yeah,
let's do it.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
The manure's back.
And like, a little bit. And like this, there's still that sort of sweetness. It's kind of tasting more, almost like just bold, more like just kind of, those high notes aren't quite as like obvious. We're really getting into like the meat of the tea here, but it's also really nice, like just soft sweetness too.
Yeah. The texture of this is so soft, especially in those first few brews. It was so soft and so wonderful. These subsequent brews, they've been brewed a little bit stronger. They're bringing out more, I'd say, bassy or earthier tones overall, but enjoyable in a different way.
Absolutely. One more?
Sure.
Cool. That's a good sign. And so while we're drinking this and brewing this out, James, folks wanted to pick this up.
Yeah, so I think this is available, but I got this from one of my friends, and I will need to check with him for the video to see if this is acquirable by the general public. I'm not totally sure, so if it is, I will include it in the description, but I bought a few samples of this tea and a couple others off of one of my good tea friends, actually, who is down in Brazil.
Wow.
So thank you to that tea friend who will remain not anonymous for now because I'm not sure if he wants to be mentioned or not.
Okay, cool.
But
well, we appreciate everyone who's reaching out and networking and sharing teas for sure. So
strong aroma on this still. This tea is going to keep going for a while.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Almost turning into a little bit of a honey or like a honey sweetness too. So, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I think it's getting back to a little bit of a softer texture. It's not quite as oily, but still delicious. We've been sitting here drinking a lot of tea today, and the fact that I was like, let's do another steeping, and James was like, yeah, sure, is a great sign. This is a delicious tea. There's a lot going on. I think this is friendly enough. Maybe those fourth, fifth, sixth steepings. I think this is the sixth one actually, but fourth and fifth where we reheated the water and stuff. Little more abrasive for you new folks out there. Maybe you want to temper this a little bit more, but really delicious tea.
Yeah, I agree. And how is the, you said early on you felt less of sort of like the energy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you feeling more of that? I feel like it's kind of snuck up on me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm getting good energy off of it. I still don't feel like this is a truly warming tea for me, which means that I think this would be great in the summertime. I think this is a great evening tea. And you can drink this in the morning. There's plenty going on. You're going to feel awesome after having this tea for sure in the morning. So drink it whenever. But this is one of those teas where I think it might be suitable for spring or even summer and in the evenings again. And really enjoyable. And now I am feeling good.
So this is about where you take the break from the tea session, you come back in a couple hours, you brew it a few more times.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, James, if folks want to learn more about tea, what should they do?
Yeah, come check us out at TeaDB.org. Also, subscribe below on the YouTube channels. And let us know what you guys like to see. If you guys are sick of all these fancy pants raw Pu'erhs, then you can GTFO. Then you can comment below.
Comment below if you guys like this video, like the video on YouTube. Check us out on our website too. Post a comment there. Subscribe to our newsletter. We have a thriving Instagram as well. So check us out on all those different places. We love you guys. Thanks so much for watching.
And thank you to the tea friend that sent us this my way. So thank you very
absolutely. Much. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers.